Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at some posts from r/AmITheButthole. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, then stick around and enjoy. So starting off with this post that says, "Am I the butthole for having an attitude with my mother after she didn't help me when I fainted because she thought I was faking it? Today, I, 15F, was helping my parents and holding up a very heavy object for them when all of a sudden my vision started going black and I thought I was going to throw up. I remember asking my mum, please take this from me. I have to let it go. I don't feel so good. I'm actually sick and I think I'm going to faint or throw up. I can't see." She probably thinks I fake other illnesses when in reality, I just have a stupid weak immune system. So I proceeded to black out on the concrete and come to my senses after some time. This is outside in front of our house where they were working and my mum could clearly see me. Not sure how long I was out, probably a few minutes, with my ear and my body hurting like hell. I am completely out of it and stumble to a piece of grass 20 or so foot and conk out again. At this point, I thought I was going to throw up. Wake up again to some people walking by and I try to rush inside and lo and behold, meet my mother. I say, I think I fainted, and she just tells me to go outside and cool down. Like, go lay on the grass? So I just left, and it took a while before I felt okay. I also realised a few minutes later that I had gotten a pretty significant scrape on my back too. I later confronted her about it, asking why she didn't help me, and she said she thought I was faking it because I didn't want to hold the object up any longer and my fall looked too graceful and slow for it to be real. Plus, it's the first time this happened. I got mad and started crying because I felt like she didn't care. Now I don't want to talk to her. Am I the butthole?" No, definitely not. That's really scary that your mum kind of just went straight away to, oh, she's obviously faking it. Like, you could have been seriously hurt. And I'm not being funny, but if you ever seen somebody faint, they don't always go down just like a sack of spuds. Like, people aren't just gonna on the floor just like that all the time. Sometimes people do faint like really slowly because they're kind of still kind of conscious, but like at the same time in the middle of blacking out, so they're trying to hold themselves up and fight it. Like, people don't just always drop to the ground like concrete. So yeah, your mum is absolutely unreal for ignoring this. You passed out whilst holding an heavy object, hit the ground, woke up, stumbled, which is even more concerning by the way, and passed out again on the grass. If I saw one of my kids do that, I would be freaking out. I would be freaking out the first time they passed out. I would be on the phone, 999, get your butts here now, please. I can't believe your mum reacted that way. And then to say, oh, I just thought you were faking it. Unreal, and I don't blame you for being annoyed. I bet you're really worried now, thinking, well, she really does not have my back. Anyway, so there was an edit. Thanks for all the support, guys. My mother apologised, but didn't say anything else. Seems like I was out for about a minute on the concrete. Not sure how long on the grass. I believe I fainted due to multiple reasons. I just started my period, so low iron. Took slightly above the limit dose of zinc and some vitamins yesterday, and I have a slight cold. The object was a big door. To those who were worried it fell on me, it didn't. I feel fine now. I probably won't go to the doctor. Thank you all for your comments. Okay, I don't know when this was posted, but OP, please go and see the doctor, because quite often women especially, and especially young women, are extraordinarily prone to anemia, low iron, other conditions that can mean that you can be at risk of fainting. And if you faint again, what's to say you are not going to hit your head on the way down or something else equally as risky? Don't risk it. Go and see the doctor, even if it's just for peace of mind. It is worth going and just getting checked out and seeing if there is a reason why this is happening so you can prevent it from happening again. Another edit. Convinced my mother to set up an appointment after some pushing. She tells me it will be nothing though. I am honestly baffled at why your mum needs convincing. I'm not even going to attempt, by the way, to pronounce the username of this commenter. This is becoming a running theme here. But I don't know how to say it, and I would rather just not say it and let you read it off the screen than say it and get it wrong. So, they say, not the butthole, and please go see a doctor. It is not normal to feel faint from just lifting something heavy. It could be something as simple as anemia. Yeah, exactly. But it could also be much worse. Better to get diagnosed sooner rather than later. Also, your mum is terrible. If she's just as dismissive when you ask to go to the doctor as she was about this incident, tell an adult you trust about this and see if they'll take you. Your dad, a relative, a teacher, a friend's parent, really anyone will do as long as you trust them and they take you seriously. Exactly. Could not agree more. It is absolutely worrying that your mum is just gonna look by this and not take you to see somebody. Again, because the next time you faint, there could be something in your path and you could hit your head on the way down. Okay, next post. Am I the butthole for telling my mum I will buy my own dress after she called me fat? What a witch. Hi, I, 19F, have a wedding to attend that is of some friends of my boyfriend. My mum, 51F, offered to help me get ready. For context, my mum is gorgeous. She used to model, she has always been incredibly beautiful, and she has an awesome body. My two brothers, 33 and 31M, take after her and are both handsome men. I am the only daughter, and as such, I think she expected someone like her. I am not like her. I was very thin when I was a kid, but I was a tomboy and I hated everything feminine. Then puberty hit and I gained a lot of weight. I'm not obese, but I am your average chubby person. 77 kilograms at 165 centimeters. I have no idea what any of that means. I really don't. We use stones and feet over here. I'm sorry. I have no idea. I'll look it up afterwards. Overweight, but not overly so, I guess. Also, I don't look a lot after myself in the sense that I don't really go out of my way to do skincare, makeup, etc. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Not everyone is going to be a girly girl, are they? So there's nothing wrong with that at all. I love my mum, and she does truly love me, but she isn't a kind person. All through my teenage years, she's made a lot of harsh comments about my appearance and my weight. I'm a sensitive person, so this used to affect me a lot. I can usually take criticism fairly enough if it's phrased nicely, but I can't take it even if there's a hint of mockery or meanness in it. You shouldn't take mean comment. No one should ever criticize somebody's appearance. Unless they are doing something that is going to be dangerous to their health, like say if someone is skin picking to the point of infections, then maybe it's time to have a word and intervene and say, look, you're putting yourself at risk here. You need to get this sorted. But if someone just doesn't want to do makeup every day and has a little more weight on them than normal, so mind your friggin' own business, you absolute horror. Anyway, it's not that big of a deal now. Years back, I was honest with my mum that her comments really affected my self-esteem, and she seemed really to tone it down. Occasionally, she will still do it, but not often. She just can't help herself, I think. It's her way of showing love, but it makes me hate myself. That's not love. That is not love, let me tell you that for free. That's not love, that is her projecting her insecurities. That's what that is. When I'm next to her, she will scan my face for pimples, and if she finds one, she will actively ignore me to pop them. Or I'll be doing something alone and she will come over to comment that my hair looks bad and I need to use this different product. Or I will be walking and she will comment that my belly is large and I should go to the gym. Things like that. I know they aren't bad, but I can't take it. To the situation at hand. She was giving me dresses to use to the wedding. We have always shared dresses, so this isn't news. One of the dresses she lent me was the one that she used 2 years ago at my graduation. I put it on and it was pretty tight. Her and my aunt tried to force it to close, but it was struggling. I said that they should stop, but they continued to force it and the zipper basically broke down completely. When it happened, my mum blurted out, "Wow, you really are fat." Oh, get that zipper, right? Get that zipper and whip. Naughty. My aunt burst out laughing and started teasing me about being chubby. I just kept silent. Oh, they sound absolutely awful. We tried on a few more dresses. I chose a pretty one that fit well and was elastic, and that was that. Then afterwards, my mum asked me if I really had been going to the gym and said that I would have to suck in my belly during the wedding so it didn't show so much in the dress I picked. I got fed up and told her that I was sick of her comments and would buy my own dress to go. Mum thinks I blew up at her for nothing and I'm about to spend my money over a tantrum. My siblings think I'm being dramatic and that I'm just mad I'm fat. My friends and boyfriend think I'm right. Am I the butthole? No, you're not the butthole. Your family is just a family of absolute arseholes, mate. You just, honestly, low contact does not sound like a bad idea because it sounds like they are absolutely awful and toxic for your mental health. I cannot fathom why anyone would think anything like that is an acceptable way to act. I really can't. So, down in the comments, ThorTalk2000 says, not the butthole. You're an adult now. You have mistakenly convinced yourself that you have set a boundary and that toning it down was good enough. Boundaries aren't cross my lines less. Boundaries are don't cross my line ever at all. You need to make that clear. Years back, you negotiated your boundary as a child. It's time to do it again as an adult. Yeah, and be really harsh. Say to them, if you do not respect this boundary, you are not acting right. You are a fully grown adult who is not acting right. And if you can't respect my boundary, you will not see me again. So, next post. Am I the butthole for not allowing my foster parents to put parental controls on the iPhone my biological parents brought me? I, 15M, have lived with my current foster parents since I was 9 years old, but I've been in foster care since I was 6. I will call my foster parents Henry and Erin. I got a new phone as an early Christmas present from my biological dad. It is an iPhone 16 Pro Max, which is the phone I wanted, so I'm very happy about it. My previous phone was an iPhone 11, and it was bought by Henry and Erin. On my old phone, Henry and Erin had set up loads of parental controls on it, so I couldn't download any apps without them approving it. I couldn't turn off share my location, I couldn't change my passcode. It would lock everything except their contacts at 8 p.m. every night until after school, and they had a time limit on YouTube, so I could only watch it for 30 minutes within the time when my phone was unlocked anyway. And I could only go on websites that they approved of. Like, there was a list that I could go on, and I couldn't go on anything that they didn't manually add to the list. These all really annoyed me, but whenever I asked for them to be turned off, they told me they bought the phone, and so these were the rules. Like, yeah, they bought the phone, it's their rules, they are your legal guardians. I do think those rules are a little bit harsh, I'm not gonna lie. Again, from someone who has their own children, I let my kids have access to, things that they can watch on their phone. I monitor them to make sure they're not watching anything inappropriate. It's all age appropriate. I have age limits on everything for them. And, well, my youngest doesn't have a phone anyway. Like, they have an Xbox that they play on, but again, the parental controls are up high on that, and anything they try to do, it comes through to my phone because they are younger. And my eldest has a little bit more free reign, also has a phone because of walking to and from school and what have you. But again, I do monitor the phone because they're children at the end of the day. And I also have the Life 360 app on their phone because, again, walking to and from school, if anything was to ever happen, I can find them without them needing to describe to me where they are. So I do think that having parental controls on devices is a really good idea. These seem a little harsh. So I do get why you'd be annoyed with them. Like, phone completely turning off after 8 p.m. at night when you're 15, checking everything constantly. It is a bit much, really, isn't it? Only letting you have 30 minutes on YouTube. I find that really restrictive, and the only thing that having a restrictive style of parenting is going to do is it's going to push the kids to push the boundaries. You have to have a fine balance when it comes to boundaries with the kids. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I do not have it. I do as best as I can. But I do think that is over the top. However, what we also have to consider here is, so are some of these rules that they have in place things that they are being told that they have to do by the foster care system? Now, I was given my new phone by my dad on Monday, and I haven't used it yet because they're telling me that I have to let them put the same restrictions on the new phone as they did my old phone. I said no, because that isn't fair. I should be allowed to use my phone as my dad says because he paid for it. I said to them that my dad paid for the phone, so it was his choice, and that he doesn't want me to have those restrictions on. Your dad is overstepping here, unfortunately. He may be your biological parent, but for whatever reason, you are in the foster care system, so the foster carers say goes. But now they've changed and said it doesn't matter who bought the phone, even though that was their whole point before. No, I think you're taking quite literally when they say, we bought the phone so we make the rules. It's just an easy way of them getting out having to explain why those rules are in place. I don't think it really, that's what they were saying was, oh, if you buy a phone, then you can make the rules. That's not what they're saying. I think that was just a quick way of trying to get you to shut up about it, basically. Now they're saying that because I am living with them, I have to follow their rules. And the rule for having a phone in this house is that they put restrictions on it. I don't think that's fair at all, considering they didn't buy the phone. I don't see how they can do this. Before I got home from school on Monday, they took the phone out of the box my dad sent it in and set up all the restrictions, and now I'm trying to figure out a way to take them off. I am thinking about complaining to my social worker because it is not fair that they put these restrictions on my phone even though they didn't pay for it. Edited to add, I am not going to be on much longer because I am almost out of my computer time. Thank you everyone for your advice. Edited to add 2. It's 8 PM now, so I'm off. Thanks everyone for taking the time to talk with me. So, down in the comments, 83 Pooley says, OP, not going to say you're in the wrong because of your age. I am also not going to say your carers are in the wrong based on the information you've provided. I am coming from the position that I previously was a foster carer as well as a worker within the law of enforcement system. Your biological father is making a power play here. You may not see it because, generally speaking, kids in care tend to see even the worst parents as being on a pedestal. But for whatever reason, you've been in foster care for the majority of your life. A good portion of that time has been under the roof of your current carers. Whilst I appreciate that at 15 you think you should be able to do what you want on your phone, you need to understand that carers are most likely looking out for your best interests. Your biological father, for lack of a better term, is throwing in a grenade. In my opinion, he may be doing this for a few reasons. 1, to prove himself or your caseworker that he is a good parent because deep down he knows he isn't. Exactly, you wouldn't be in care for no reason, I'm afraid to say. 2, to drive a wedge between you and your carers in exactly the way it appears to have. 3, because he cares about you genuinely and thinks about getting you an extravagant gift will somehow make up for you being in care since you were 6 years old. Honestly, it could be a mixture of the above. Regardless though, he should have discussed such a gift with your caseworker and carers, if there is contact between them and him, to make sure it was okay and so that he could discuss the rules surrounding usage of the phone with you. If you legitimately think that your carers are not doing what is in your best interest, then you should speak to your caseworker. Let them be the mediator as they are basically in charge. There are possibly also things occurring in the background that you were unaware of. For example, the court or department in your jurisdiction that deals with children in care may want contact with your birth parents to only occur when they are aware of it. Exactly. Your carers could simply be following rules that a court or your caseworker has outlined to them. Exactly. Quite often, it's not the carer that's making these super strict rules. It's the people in the background, the caseworkers, social workers, the courts. It's not always the carers who are making these what seem like butthole decisions. If you think that they are on some level being reasonable because they care for you, then perhaps sit with them and discuss that how at age 15 you should have more freedom. This could look like having the parental controls but with less restrictions, or it could be without the parental controls but with your carers able to look at your phone, messages, photos, when they feel like there is a need and without notice. They know the unlock code to the phone. At the end of the day, it's about trust. Show them that you can be trusted with more freedom, then they'll likely be willing to become more lenient as you get older. Try to make sure that regardless of how the conversation goes with your carers, that you keep your cool. Good luck. Exactly. If you show that you're going to be grown up about this, you're going to keep your cool, be level-headed, display your arguments for and against really clearly, then they're going to be thinking to themselves, yeah, do you know what? I think they are grown up for a little bit more freedom, because at 15, I do think you should have a bit more freedom personally. But again, this could also be something that it may have to be taken up with someone in the background, say the social workers and the care system. Am I the butthole for walking my dog in front of a hunter in their tree stand on my parents' land? I'm in the Midwest and don't hunt. Don't mind when people do, though. My parents allow friends to hunt on their land. I walk my dog on the same loop every day. They hunt on this loop. We wear bright reflective clothing and never feel in danger. Switching our route could disorientate my dog. She is off leash. My parents don't care if I'm there. They know it's the only place my dog can get exercise, but the hunters get peed off like I'm supposed to cede to them this time of year and I screw up their hunt when I walk by. I feel like if my dog is a problem, they can go somewhere else. You know, they absolutely can, can't they? Edit. I should be more clear when I said it's the only place I can exercise her. It's the only place I can exercise her efficiently. She is a very large young puppy, 110 pounds. Jesus Christ. She has more freedom to run off the leash out here. We do 3 miles. If I try to get the same amount of energy out of her on leash, we have to do 6 to 7 miles, which isn't realistic time-wise. If you have ever walked an 110-pound dog on a leash, you would prefer to do it off-leash on private land, I promise. Also, we aren't randomly walking through woods. The trail is 8 foot wide the entire length, and she knows to stay on it. And at the end of the day, it's your parents' land. Update. I took the advice of many of you and brought it up to my parents. They were not happy with the hunters' behaviour. The hunters were allowed there out of kindness, nothing else. My parents decided to not allow hunting any longer. I was open to a compromise, but this decision is what made them feel best. Thank you for your input. Back to our walk. I'm glad your parents were so game to sort it out quickly. And then down in the comments, Shoddy Record 2169 says, not the butthole, but I would have a talk with your parents about the situation. And then OP says, yeah, I didn't want to have to involve them, but I think you're right, which obviously OP did do. And then this commenter replied, I get that, but it's not a safe situation for anyone, with all of you using the space at the same time. So your parents need to decide if they want to keep allowing their friends to hunt there, which means you and your dog should be elsewhere during hunting season, or they need to disallow the hunting to make it safe for you and your dog to take walks during hunting season, because right now it's an accident waiting to happen. Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously the parents took action and banned the hunters anyway from coming down, but yeah, definitely. I mean, if they hadn't been said, I would have said this needs to stop, because it's just not a good idea to have, you know, hunters mixed with somebody walking their dog. It is just a matter of time before someone gets hurt, isn't it? So I think I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you very, very much if you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you very, very much. If you'd like to leave a like and subscribe, then I would appreciate it even more. And obviously it helps you come back here then, because I post every single day. Other than that, I'm going to go off now into the rain. Oh, boo-hoo, poor me. I hope you have a better rest of the day than I am about to. Goodbye.